Um, so as y'all can see, I wasn't really expecting it to start up so quick. It asked me to set the time. It didn't ask me to do that last time, so I was like, oh shit, that's weird. Let me adjust the time for the game. And look, they're thanking me for it. A lot of people don't take that step seriously, they just leave the set clock. Yeah, man, of course, no problem. Gotta make sure my phone's charging before I get set into the game. Come on, stupid game. I mean, stupid phone. There we go. Alright, there we go. I don't even know. You know what's crazy? I've been setting this. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Feel like I should go back and restart it now, just because it's telling me next time to start the climb. I'm quitting the desktop. I gotta do it again. Give me 1 second. We gotta open it up back up. Oh, I said that weird. I gotta work at 11:30, so we'll just put 11:30. This is interesting. I like this so far. How accurate is 11:30? It's an hour and a half behind, so it's good to collect data. What data are you collecting? Some new sliders. Oh yeah. Next time I boot up the game, are you serious? I gotta do it again. I like this one. Gonna make some homies. Dog and a cat. Now kiss. Mwah. So 5 becomes a number 9. It's IX. I kind of like this noise. Scrumtish. Do you know what time it is? 12:57. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? Alright, man. What time is it anyway? What? Wait, what is time? Yeah. Help. Yes, I'll help. Will you come to back? Yeah. Oh. What if I started over again? This is the last time, unless it makes me do it again. Somebody be like, you came back. I'm like, oh man. What time is it? What time is it? 1:03. Oh. It was a rhetorical, metaphorical. Oh, of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. We're not strangers. Why is he so sad? Don't be sad, little guy. No, I don't actually. Why are you leaving? It's not really my description. I know what he wants. I gotta do it one more time. One more time. If he's not here, then I feel like he lied to me. He knew I'd come back. Got me scratching my brain. Ask me what time it is. Oh, no! Oh, did I just freeze? That's a first. Oh no, I didn't freeze.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Bing, bing, bing.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
What if I just don't leave the office? Wait, I got an achievement. What was the achievement for? I kind of want to see because it didn't give me a name on that achievement. So, the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe achievements. I don't want it to tell me how to get them. I just want to see it. What is it? Like, what achievement did I get? Oh, wait, there we go. Oh, it's called Welcome Back. Quit the game and then start it again. Wow. Okay, thought I got something fun. No. Just for coming back. Gotta get everything comfy. Alright, let's go. Why am I laggy?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Do y'all see that?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
My bucket. Whoa. Who y'all think y'all are blocking stuff? Give me my bucket.
The good old bucket. Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
Something like him saying that just makes me feel like I need to touch everything with the bucket. Touch, 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 touch. It was really weird. I stutter whenever. Oh. Whenever I go into like a new room or something.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Okay.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Gotta touch every little thing.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
I don't think that was the bucket saying that. Oh, I knew there's a ramp here for a... Oh!
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines.
The
And I'm torn
Stanlerines.
between Stanlerines and Figlers.
I like
What do you think,
Stanlerines.
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by one?
Stanlerines.
I'm sure it will come to me.
So there is a door down there. We can escape. Oh, we're in a vent. And this is spooky. And I've got one foot in the door. Whoa. I don't like this place. I'm back to getting that weird feeling in my stomach. Narrator dialogue? It's all just a whole lot of dialogue. Oh, that means I can do something over here.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so...
Good.
What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it.
No.
Yes.
Now we're using the bucket for our own greed.
Unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket.
Wait, this is nuts. This is narrator.
This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who I'll be trying to get.
Is this the narrator?
Who's there?
Bro, this is like a Demogorgon. What the fuck? So is that a different narrator than the narrator I have? Did that narrator sell the bucket and just get greedy? That's what it sounds like. Hurry up and load. Why are you being so slow? Wow, it's taking a long time. Oh, oops.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
This was just yes. Aw, it used to have 3 of them already. Now it's back to 2. We're back to 1.
Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Oh, I just froze. What the fuck? There we go. Stop that, please.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
You know, I kind of wanted to go right there. Oh, is the bridges between the pallets that we just went across to get access past fence? Somewhere both red and blue. Somewhere to do with stairs. I'll find y'all.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Another one.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll
I don't like that name.
And then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we
don't have all of them.
You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
None of us can.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss.
Oh, I think I've already done this where I go crazy.
He might be fired for it. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His
All
boss
because
would
of the
think he was
bucket?
crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly... Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course...
Why do I keep stuttering? Like, why is it doing this? Like, what is going on?
Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity.
Something's got to be wrong with my junk. Why does it keep doing this?
Suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Oh, ow. That was me blacking out right there.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh, it's gonna make me watch it again.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Backflipped? Yeah, I think I already did that one. What's next? What would be next?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Boop. Yes.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket.
A
bucket
very
of
beautiful
culture
bucket.
and distinction. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him.
Not even gonna stop. He's just gonna keep running.
Lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was.
Shut up.
The bucket turned out to be correct. Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No.
No.
Said the bucket.
I haven't
Go
gone
to
up
the
there
meeting
yet.
room. Go somewhere else.
I've gone
Cargo
that
lift,
way
yes. Good.
and into that little vent thingy
Now
down
ride
there.
the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
My bucket
He was
can
firmly
talk.
convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here,
Said the bucket.
go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
What dark room? None of them are dark. Talking about this one? It's gotta be this one. Yep. This game's kind of like spooky in a way. Oh, this is a dark room indeed.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Okay. You ain't gotta tell me twice.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket.
What?
Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend.
What?
And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh, I can move. Is this a therapist? Oh, time. It's gotta do something, right? Bucket!
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
This is really weird. Oh, he's in there. That's where he was at. Take me back home with you. Okay.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Jazz music. I love jazz music. Let me wash my hand. Choo, choo, choo. Okay. Back to work.
I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Take us back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time, it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Is somebody jealous? Come here, little guy. Okay.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Changing your mind?
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Oh.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from...
My lamp is on the
It's a
floor.
bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so
Just a
much
bucket.
more than just a regular bucket?
To go home to work to home to work to home to work to home.
Oh no, I'm having feelings for the bucket. No, 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 no. What's going
Yo,
on?
narrator?
I want to be with the bucket. Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong? I don't understand. Perhaps.
Bucket.
If I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes.
You're getting
The
freaky.
bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
You better leave my bucket alone, buddy. Come here.
Stanley, give me
No.
the bucket. Give
Oh,
it to me.
hell no.
Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. I am Stanley. Oh, my lamp got fixed. Thank you.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he'd simply missed a memo.
Beep beep.
Ah, the embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Yeah, good,
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
No, I didn't.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was...
Yo, what's going on in this?
Unless
The,
you actually don't know what
the
is a
Nissus?
bucket and what isn't a bucket. I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior.
Bro's been tripping about my bucket.
If that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is.
He really
and
does not
isn't
fuck with my
a
bucket.
Please, step in here for a minute.
Oh, the pen.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple
Had to
enough,
turn
right?
that down.
This
Fix
should tell
that.
us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Oh, it's a game show. Yeah, let's get it.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
What?
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
You liar. I was just straight up a lie.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect.
Oh,
This
you
is a bucket.
stupid.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
I thought it was a trick
Are you
question.
hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
I fucking hate this game.
This is a bucket. Item 6. Is this a bucket?
No. It's gonna say it is.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
You know what? I'll take that.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. Should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here, and I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
You believe that nothing is a bucket?
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. and yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with.
Yeah, you're a bucket,
I'm afraid
pal.
the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game and
You're such a little jealous girl. Was I able to click no?
Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. My God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that.
Someone
Who knows
else?
what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
Is there going to be someone else? Hello? What is this? Oh, there we go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
is
missed a
new.
memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. This one's got me low-key scared as shit. Like,
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker.
I'm really
In time,
uncomfortable with
perhaps,
this
he
level.
would become both of those things. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
got one more. I can't remember where it's at. Where I know it's talking about the red and blue doors. But that's when we're talking about him not trusting me
Coming to the
going down.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked
That's to that.
upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, there's a mosquito or something nibbling on me. Get off me, you bug. You freaking bugger. I didn't like that.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
He just yelled out, 8.
Even now,
Oh, there's
in
the
the
achievement.
darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any
Oh, I'm
notion
stupid.
that the pin number for the keypad was 2845.
Of course you did. I am the
Stanley
narrator.
guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Nerd.
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay, so it's gotta be this way. That's very comforting to know that this is somewhat the right way.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read,
Mind control facility. Turn that hoe on.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Oh, oops. Left mouse button was supposed to be able to make it walk, but he's not walking anymore. Boink.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Aww. Poor little guy, he's scared.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
I don't fucking know.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place.
Did it right away. Don't play with me in the bucket.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life
We're
they
gonna
wanted
go
to live.
everywhere.
Once they stepped through this massive door, the bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
What the fuck?
Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty. Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Is that a threat? Did Buddy just threaten me? I'm about to find out. You're about to find out soon, pal, not me. I know my computer didn't freeze, because I can see everything else moving, but why is this taking so long tonight? Like, what the fuck?
How wonderful.
Oh.
Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
It sounds really different out there.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd...
I've already done this.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
You know, there's one place I have
Not everyone is so
gone
lucky to have
in
a
a
bucket,
while.
but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Since I've gotten the bucket. This isn't normal.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and emptied. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better? No, never mind.
I had to let him get his little dialogue in right
Stanley
there.
took the door on his left.
You know,
Back to the meeting room.
I had to let him get his dialogue in.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Anything this way? No, it doesn't seem like there is anything that way. I'm just kind of exploring. I don't really know what I'm doing. There we go. I thought my mic wasn't working for a second. Wait, we're still in the meeting room?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have but Stanley guess the correct code by sheer luck.
152.
Was it that the bucket knew all along?
I think I'll do
Was
a
the
little bit
bucket
longer than
guiding
I'll call
him?
it, just because
Yes,
I got work in the
this is
morning.
certainly the most logical explanation.
Thunder, right? Yeah.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Escaping tried to kill me.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock.
Oh.
Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this,
I'll say,
and
where's
it
the platform
very
at?
nearly
There you
burst
go.
into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
I don't know.
These
That's not for me to
questions
find
raced
out.
furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
I have a feeling I need to go down the other elevator.
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
Weirdo.
Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Okay, so let me not go out the window this time. I feel like that's what fucked it up last time, right?
All of his co-workers were gone.
No, it's still the
What could it
same.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed
What?
a
I
memo.
feel like I'm missing something. Give me.
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent.
Oh, I
Stanley
just
checked
froze.
his
What the
ego
fuck just
and
happened?
then proceeded onward. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the
There's literally
employee
one
lounge was simply the place to
Place
be.
that I have not gone in Sky.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
To the
No,
left and down.
Never mind.
Then it opens
The
up to
bucket
that
was
one little
wrong.
area.
Stanley took the door on his left.
Then,
to go
yeah,
back to
we
the-
don't
so
start
the two of them
trusting him.
detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite
God,
door.
this took me way too long to remember how to get here.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh. This is taking me way too long to get to this.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere.
The line?
The bucket
line
isn't
is not
even
a
from the
friend.
original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet, because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
What's... Can I... I thought he would say something about me going in there. I thought I saw an interact. I guess not. I guess I was just tripping. Damn.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Yes!
Now this
Hey,
is what the Stanley Parable
that
is
was a
all about.
vibe.
Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
What the fuck?
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up. Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new
A
character.
new character?
This is the Bucket Destroyer.
What?
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well fleshed out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you.
Does it on and
Go
off
ahead
switch,
now,
right?
Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters?
Look, it's
Well, you
looking
see,
at me.
If you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the
I feel like that's how to blow up.
Until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now. The fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the
There you
fans
go.
what they want.
Sorry. Yeah. You know, this kind of reminds me of something from ancient history. I will not mention.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
That's what you get, bozo. Rip the machine.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace, protective, yet delicate,
I'm so confused.
assertive, yet compassionate.
Because nothing is changing.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
I've gone
Stanley
like
had
every
felt the
way.
bucket calling to
On
him,
the right,
telling him that
on
the
the left.
employee lounge was simply
Did I
the
miss
place
something
to
else?
be.
Fuck, what happened?
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place
I've
eventually.
done this already.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even...
What if we don't take the bucket this time? That's what I'm thinking. Leave that dumb little bucket.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business,
Stanley took the first open door on his left, and so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead
This
to
was
the
different.
opposite door, and got back on track.
Was with the baby. It should not have the baby now.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now, in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no.
Fuck you.
No, it's to the right, my mistake. No,
Fuck you.
No, not the
Let me
right.
in.
Why would I
Just
have
kidding.
ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
This again.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers.
There's no
were
balloons
gone.
this time.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the
And there's
meeting
no
room.
bucket.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm so confused.
When
Wait.
Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely
Oh, it's
restarted
this
the game. It was
storyline again,
completely
that's
fresh.
why.
Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we...
No, we're done with it.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell, but the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes. Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Dude, this is like the biggest fucking puzzle that I just cannot understand. Like, you're making me feel
Stanley's
stupid.
bucket, the only co-worker he would ever truly need.
Like, why are we doing this to me, game?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was
I can
not the
still
correct way
go.
to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his
Mr.
left
Bucket's always
to go
wrong.
back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
I feel
Stanley
like
did not
those
question
doors
why or
are
how this
important.
bucket was
I went
speaking
that
to
way.
him. It
Can't
should
go
have
that
alarmed
way.
him, of course, because buckets
Went down
can't
there.
talk, but Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
I'm pretty sure if I don't go this way with the bucket, this is how I get
In
the red
here,
and green.
Said the bucket.
Red and
Go
blue.
into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
What happens if I don't?
Oh, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke.
Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it, but there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
look.
What is
Oh,
comedic timing?
that scared the shit
What
out of
is
me.
comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence
Oh, my
your
legs are
political enemies?
stiff.
And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny."
I'm Dunny
Practice
with the
screaming,
funny.
"I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny now. That was beautiful. I'm Dunny with the funny. Did my game freeze or what is this?
Good.
Oh, okay.
This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times. Just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little skit. After all, with each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles, all of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
What?
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, is it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Oh. Okay.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now? Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke.
Am I tripping?
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
I'm really hoping I'm tripping.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. What?
We're back?
We're back at the phone already? No, what's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my...
What the fuck?
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
You did it again, though, man.
What? We're back at the...
Maybe I meant to go to the left this time.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Okay, I feel like...
What?
We'll see.
We're back at the phone already? No.
Okay, so yeah, go left.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this was all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame.
What?
Pale with shame?
Did I beat the game?
What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Okay.
Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley at all? No, surely not. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I might just call it here. 'Cause I don't know.
This was not the correct way to the meeting
I want to see
room,
something.
but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
See, I feel like that fall will kill me. I don't think I'm meant to go down. But, YOLO.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, last attempt. For the night.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
That's it?
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Looks Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it.
Yes!
Prove that I'm on your side. Give me a And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them.
Well, I'm proud of
but that
myself,
would be like
so.
a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
You know what's crazy is I only went through the blue one.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I
Damn!
really
No, I
have
was
wanted
wrong.
you
I
to
went
be
through
happy
red.
all this time. The problem is all these
So
choices.
now he's gonna open the
two
door
of us
up.
always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Thank you.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Oh.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? No, wait. Where are you going?
Kill myself, pal.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of it. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stan. No! Oh, no. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Damn.
Stanley,
I
let's
knew
go
it.
back to the other room. My
I was
God.
about to say he was gonna sound
Is
so
this really
sad.
how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Whee!
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all.
Stop being so depressing.
Well, this one is yours. Is it over?
Yeah, it's over.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
So what if I go through the blue door? Wait, it doesn't matter because I got all the things, so I want to see what's different in there. Whoa. Wait a minute.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figlets. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Hey, the memory zone again. When Stanley found the collectibles. This one wasn't empty, I don't think. And we definitely didn't go down.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
I knew it!
And here was the second Stanlerine.
God, I love myself. So if I grab all 4 of them, all 7, 6.
You found this one all on your own just by poking around behind the boss's office. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand?
The bathroom.
Can you remember? Hey, that's exactly right. It was here in the boss's bathroom. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised.
And that was yesterday.
After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
Really? That's a really interesting fact if that's true.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
For some reason, I don't trust this. So this was definitely not a memory.
This was the 5th mini stand, and this one was really something special. It was under the stairs. I remember it so clearly.
I'm trying to think. That's fucking with me, man. Okay, we're freezing like crazy right now.
In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy. I spent a lot of
guess.
time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Fuck you too then, pal. That was not 8 minutes, by the way. That was like a 30-second video. Oh.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other, except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
You are in the present. Whoa.
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
Wow, that was abrupt.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep
That was
enjoying these figurines? Let's just
cool
go
as shit, I'm not
backwards.
gonna lie.
We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Memory zone from the opposite direction?
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more.
I want more.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yeah. No, he's gonna make me watch it again. Okay.
Yes, I love that video.
It's alright.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley.
Yeah,
Still
none at
no
all,
memory of
pal.
This one. Good room, though. A solid room.
Debatably.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
I wonder what happens if I check in the warehouse. Nothing? Oh, okay, nothing. That's dumb.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurine. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Is he? Oh, I was gonna say. Imagine he's a figurine.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that?
I would have liked to have forgotten about that. Oh, we're back in the office.
And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for
Wait,
no
I'm just a
reason.
character?
Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be strong this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what?
Ayo.
Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
There's a phone ring.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
I guess we ordered some, a lot of boxes.
As Stanley lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all buckets everywhere. This adventure, he decided, was for all of them. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Alright, I've had enough. My back's killing me. Epilogue. That was very new. Many, many years later. just gonna walk. Whoa. Just gonna keep walking. Ain't nothing to it, just to walk. Wow. Lots of chairs everywhere. I don't really know what is going on. Whoa. What if I walk towards the sun? No, the memory zone. It's got a generator hooked up. And it's running. So somebody was here. Whoa. Like so many, I enjoyed my time with the original Stanley pair, which underscores how in the first game, team made. The bucket. I'm pretty sure we already read that, maybe. Wait, what? Is this true? I hope that's not true. That's sad. You're like bullied out of it. I see lots of figurines.
Stanley.
Oh!
Jim. Jim. Stanley. Jim. Stanley. 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 Jim. Stanley.
I want to take this one. Why did I freeze again? Why do I keep doing this, man? Hey, can we unfreeze? Thank you. froze once more. Whoa. There's gonna be one back here. Hey. Yeah, it's been a while. Let's drag it through the mud and back. We are. Oh. Okay, okay. The secret achievement machine? Okay. So the machine's working now? Can I get the secret achievement? How do I get back there? Oh, fuck. Baby hole punch 3, baby. So that was the epilogue, or was that the whole game? I have no clue. What if I begin the game? What does that do? We're not going to skip anything.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh,
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, I'm just making sure I wasn't like missing something.
What new mysteries lay in store for our bucket-loving heroes today? Let's find out.
Ah, new content. I don't think I would need to go to this, right? I don't know, but I'm about to get off, so it doesn't really matter. I already took my headphones off and everything. Just waiting for this to be done. I'm pretty sure I've already done all this. I'm just a little young guy. Let's see. And I keep freezing, dude. I'm over that bullshit.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figured that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all... Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features. 2 buckets here. How did you get a second bucket? Oh no, the warmth and comfort of a single bucket is already so great, so intoxicatingly wonderful. With 2 buckets, there's no telling. Stanley, can you still hear me? Are you with me? Stanley! Oh, thank God. I didn't lose you, Stanley. The power of 2 buckets was too much. I had to destroy both of them. I know how much the bucket meant to you, but I couldn't take the risk. I hope one day you can forgive me.
Are you so for real?
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later. Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Yes.
As you can see, the machine is not working yet since... What? Wait. What in the holy hell is going on? You got the achievement? Why did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago. Who fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being watched? God. Composure. Composure. Yes, as you can see, the machine is working as normal, as I intended. It truly speaks to the awe-inspiring magic of the Stanley Parable 2. Breathe. Just breathe.
Now what am I supposed to leave?
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet? All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now? So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly... I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Alright, so we got the achievement, what I call it, there for tonight, because I'm exhausted.